What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Thursday's build stream. We're going to be building Kristian's PC today. Overall, everything that is in this build was selected based on the budget and the requirements that we were targeting. So we're just going to run through the build list and get started. I'm probably going to blow through this pretty quick today to join the ride. So today we're building with an i7 12700K. This is 12 cores, 20 threads, has a 5 gigahertz maximum boost. It's this bad boy right here. 12th gen processor. It's a great processor to start with if you're starting out with any PC or even upgrading. It's a great processor to game and also possibly stream with if you are planning to stream a little bit. It's highly recommended. Next, we were going to have a Gigabyte motherboard, but we did end up with a MSI Pro Z690A Wi-Fi DDR4 motherboard. That's this one right here. So we originally were targeting the Gigabyte package from Micro Center, but we ended up they ended up being out of those boards, so we ended up getting stuck with the, not stuck, but they swapped the MSI board for the Gigabyte board, which is why we ended up going that route, and why the graphics card is Gigabyte, but the motherboard is MSI. Normally we would pair those up the best we can. So the graphics card, as you can see, is an RTX 3060. This is by Gigabyte. It's the Eagle 12 gigabyte overclock edition, so it is factory overclocked. Great card for anybody who's getting into gaming, and right now it's a really great price, especially compared to what it's been over the last couple of years. So if anybody's looking for a graphics card right now, I would highly recommend shopping around now and maybe over the next month or so, because it's definitely a good buyer's market right now. The cooler we're using is a Peerless Assassin 120 SE. I've used these a few times, and I actually really like them. It's a very good value for what you get for the price, which is a 6 heat pipe power air cooler with two 120mm fans, which are addressable RGB. So they're RGB, and I believe they go up to like 1500 or 1800 RPM, I think is their maximum. But there's two fans on there, so it does a really good job cooling, especially these bigger CPUs like the i7, which are known to run a little toasty. We do have a LGA 1700 bracket by Thermalright. Both the cooler and the bracket is by Thermalright, so we'll be using that. And then we have a 1TB M.2 Gen 4 SSD, as well as a 16 gigabyte G-Skill Ripjaws 5 kit. This is 3200 megahertz. And then we have to power it a 750 watt gold rated power supply. This is also PCIe 5.0 ready, as well as ATX 3.0. So it does have that cable that you need for the newer graphics cards if he ever goes to upgrade. he has the 600 watt cable already on here, though I would not recommend running a full 600 watts on that cable on this power supply specifically. So 4090 wouldn't do great with this, as an example. 4080, 4070 Ti probably just fine. This is a Leon Lee Landcool 216. It's a great case. It has 180 millimeter fans in the front, which are addressable RGB that are included, as well as a 140 millimeter fan on the rear, which is also included. This case, I have stated in the past, is probably one of the best cases to build in for 2023. It's probably my favorite mid-tower ATX case that you can build in. The value is absolutely insane when you get for this case. It's got a front mesh, easy to work with panels, so you can pull the top panel, for example, and the front panel off very easily to clean, as well as the glass panel on the side and the rear panel. All of these panels are very easily removable, so it's easy access into the system, and just all around great airflow, and supports things like a 360 millimeter AIO on the top, which I'm a huge fan of, as you probably know from watching me build PCs over the last couple of years. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the build. I'm gonna set a few of these components aside. We get started on the motherboard. Try to get a nice zoom here for you. How is everybody's day going today? Hope everybody's Thursday is going good. I don't normally build this early, so we are building a little earlier than we would normally do a stream. But that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. I actually have a little bit of a time crunch, so I'm trying to get this counted out so I can go hit the hayfield. We've got hay to bale up today. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is get the CPU out. First thing we're going to do is get the CPU out and socket this bad boy, so then we can remove those LGA brackets and use the LGA 1700 brackets that we got from Thermalright. Here's our Intel i7. I don't know if you can actually see it, or if it's going to focus on that because of the light. We'll just drop that there in the socket, and that's to protect those pins. There's about a bazillion pins there that we do not want to damage while we're working on the socket. I like to drop the CPU in there just to protect it. And then here's our LGA 1700 contact plate that we purchased. So we got to remove the original stock brackets here. As I call out and mention probably every time I do this, if you want to learn more about why I'm doing this, let me know and I can put together a decent video, or detailed video anyway. But Gamers Nexus actually already has a really good video out about this, why we do it. It's also a The main reason is because we get a significant better contact on the CPU with the cooler, which makes the CPU run cooler, but contact to the cooler, and then when the CPU cooler, it performs better, or at least it can hit higher performance peaks without being overheated and then thermal throttling. In the end, it just keeps your CPU slightly cooler, and for the price, you really don't want to not do it. About a $10 part. And sometimes even get it cheaper on Amazon. There we go. So this wrench or Allen key is also going to be included. Make sure that you can remove it if you ever had to. Alright, so next up we're going to go ahead and get the RAM and the SSD installed, and then we'll do the cooler. Let's go ahead and just do the SSD right now, since we're right here anyway. This is a 1 terabyte Gen 4 SSD, and this is by silicone powered. I actually use them quite a bit. They do a pretty good job. I highly recommend them, especially if you want to save a little bit on storage, but still get some decent performance out of it. Meaning they're not as expensive as Samsung. Alright, so let's go ahead and knock the RAM out. And then we'll get this cooler installed and slap this into the case. Alright, so it's cooler time. We've got our 2 fans pulled out there. And then here's the actual cooler. We'll just need the hardware. That's our LGA 1700 bracket, and this is your 1200 or older. This is our CPU. We want on the CPU fan header. So we have 2 fans. We need to split that connection. These are AM4. We'll need these. This. Those will be for the fans. And then LGA 1700 is right here. And then these brackets. We want to make sure that we're putting them in the right way so that we can install the cooler the right way. I'm going to just double check the direction. Actually the opposite direction, so I'm glad I looked. Hey, what do I charge for the build besides the price for the parts? Really, just like you said there, depends on the price of the parts. Usually it's about 20%. So it's usually about 20% for the build, but that also could vary depending on what build type it is. So for example, I'm not going to charge 20% for a build that's like $800. So that's usually what it comes down to. Or it's pretty close to about $100 a build. That's what you normally profit while building. The margins kind of suck, to be quite honest. So you gotta love doing it. All right, we have the hardware installed. We'll get rid of some of this crap real quick, and then we'll get this heatsink on. We're going to be using thermal Grizzly, which is over here. We've got our good old thermal Grizzly. Or slap it in there. Thanks for stopping in, by the way. Are you interested in getting a build done by us? If you're looking around to get a build, and you would like an estimate, we're pretty competitive when it comes to pricing. In fact, most of the times we get told our prices are too low by some of our partner streamers, and that we need to raise our prices. But again, I'm not here to make $1 million. We're just going to mount this cooler really quick, slap the fans on there, and then slap this in the case. It's going to move quick. Moving quick. There we go. There's our cooler mounted. Looks fantastic. Get it? Fantastic. Fan. Really fans. Sorry, I'm not sorry, I'm a dad. To check out any of our recent builds over on YouTube or on our Twitter. Did some pretty crazy ones lately. Actually got another one I gotta post that we just finished up. Then I had another one come back with weird issues. But it seems to be an Asus thing. So following suit with all the Asus problems that we've been having lately. When I say we as in a community of people. Not just us having problems with Asus. Pardon my reach here. Can't see. There we go. One fan attached. Let's do the other one. This one, I'm actually thinking I'm going to put on the back side. I don't want to do that. Making sure those are even. Alright, so now I grab these two cables, get them connected to the splitter. We're going to set this aside. Get our case out. Which we already have unboxed, so it's going to be as easy as pulling some of these panels off and started with. Put it in upside down. Oops. We already know all our studs in this case are good to go because we built into it a million times. Hey, what's up, BSS? What's going on? We're on the Kick. We are streaming to Twitch, Kick, YouTube. I like to call out where people are chatting from. I don't have anything on the screen identifying that. How's it going? We're just PC building. Yo. I don't know if this mic's picking me up very well or not, because I'm kind of in an awkward position. I really don't have a wireless option right now. So we're working with what we got. Grab some zip ties here and zip this up a little bit. Zip it up, zip it. How you doing? Get it figured out. There we go. Looking smooth. Here's our USB 3. There. So this is our front panel power connector. We already know it's in down there. We already know our HD audio is down here. And then we saw just a moment ago when we flipped it over, then our USB 3 and USB-C are all up there. We'll go ahead and cables like so. Keeping our cable management nice and tidy. We we do have to deal with this. We're going to run towards the bottom here. I'll deal with that now. Since we're here. That sucks. Wish I would have known that. Goes. There we are. We'll flip this back around. Fan one is actually way up here. Nice. I wish I would have known earlier. And then we've got our USB-C connection here. Our USB 3 connection here. Then our front panel, which is going to be our power reset, LED activity lights, all them right there, and our front panel HD audio is right here, down here at the bottom. There we are. Hey, yo, Reese, what's up? What's up? I don't think I have the build command configured for Kick yet. But it is configured, I believe, over on Twitch, though I did not update it for this build. It is a i7-12700K on a MSI Z690 Pro Series motherboard, which has the Wi-Fi Bluetooth built into it. This is a D4 motherboard, so DDR4. We have 16 gigabytes of DDR4 3200 megahertz CL16 and a 1TB M.2 Gen 4 SSD and a RTX 3060 that we're putting in here with a 750 watt PCI 5.0 power supply. So this is a kind of, hey, let's build a PC that we can upgrade with later kind of build. Hey, thanks John for that like over on Facebook. I appreciate you. So the idea of this build is to give him a really good platform to start with, where he can upgrade later without having to, for example, upgrade the power supply, upgrade the motherboard, upgrade this. So everything's gonna be great to start with. He'll have a really good experience out of the gate, and later down the road when he wants to upgrade, he can do it. And we got these parts for amazing deals, so he got a really good deal on this build. And I'm absolutely in love with these coolers by Thermalright. Gamers Nexus actually did a review on them not too long ago. And I totally agree. The Peerless Assassin is 100% worth. They're just really all-around great value. So they do an excellent job, especially with bigger CPUs like an i7. Okay, so we got all our cables plugged in here. The only thing we got are our CPU EPS 24 pin and power supply, but we can actually just put the graphics card in here, then put the power supply in and deal with that. Because there's lots of space in this case. Let's go ahead and get the graphics card. Wow, this is not Call of Duty. No, is it showing up as Call of Duty? Agent Smith? Because I thought I updated the title. Is it still showing up as Call of Duty? I can fix that if it is. Oh shit. Whoopsie daisy. Please hold. Not the title. No, yeah, I thought I updated that as well. The could be under science fiction or just chatting. I actually don't know the proper like location for this. Oh yeah, I see. Twitch is still pointing it to Call of Duty. No, it's good. Let's fix that real quick. Okay, that should be updated. Sorry about that. You believe super mods could change that for me? I think I got swords as... I have a couple, but they're just not online right now. Nobody's here. It's kind of an odd time for me to be streaming, so partly why. Don't normally stream at start a stream this early. Are you a super mod though? Did I make you a mod? I don't even remember, honestly. I probably did. If not, I could fix that. Let me check. Actually, I'm going to check right now. Please hold. I don't think it's called a super mod. I think it's just moderator. No, I'm not a mod. I would have a sword by my name. Ah, I gotcha. It shows how much I know Twitter. I mean Twitch. Jesus. I'm having one of those days. Oh, I set you as a VIP. All right. That should be fixed, Agent Smith. You should be a mod now. Yeah, I know. So I've explained. Well, I've actually been working. You know what? I do have a chat bot. I did work on that. Actually, you just reminded me. It should be live. I actually can't see the sword by your name on my view because it's a multi-channel chat that shows up here. But if I go into Twitch, then I should be able to see it. Let's see. I do have a chatbot running. It's running from Streamlabs, but I think it's not working because I'm currently streaming with Restream. So that's actually a good point. And that chatbot should be running. Maybe I only stream one at a time. Oh, maybe I should? Oh. No, it's probably a better idea anyway. Because I'm trying to do, like, all the platforms all at the same time, and honestly, it's not perfect. Which is why I'm trying to use Restream, so now I'm spending money on Restream and stupid stuff like that. And I use Streamlabs, so I'm spending money on Streamlabs as well. Spend too much money on the stream shit. I only stream on Twitch, then anything else I stream is on Kick. Good point. The reason why I stream to multiple platforms is because most of the time I'm streaming a customer's build that I'm doing for them. Not everybody has a Kick, or not everybody has a Twitch. So I stream, and then I also like the fact that I can pull the video from YouTube a lot easier than I can pull it from Twitch, for example. If I want to grab some video clips from a stream, it's a lot easier for me to actually pull it from YouTube faster. And they don't delete them after a certain amount of time. Although I don't think they do that anymore with my current status. I don't know, actually. I just remember that being a problem in the past. I know, I could do some work and make it better. You done using my phone as a guinea pig? No? I don't pay for anything. That's where I need to get to. But no, I did set up a chatbot on Streamlabs. Maybe if we have time after this build, I'll kind of pull it up on the stream and kind of show you what I have. But it's not anything like super sophisticated. It just says blah 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 blah, and it just chats for me. Just says things about the build, or things about website, or things about cool thing, you know, just news and things, whatever. I don't know. I don't know exactly what's on there right now, off the top of my head. I could go look. Well, that's a 216 if I've ever seen one. Dude, I was just at Micro Center. Kind of walked around and twiddled my thumbs. I didn't know if you were there or not, but I didn't send you a text. It was kind of a last minute. I pulled in and I needed in and out quick. I was just there. I spent like 600 and something on a bunch of stuff, so. But I was looking for a Lian Li 11 Dynamic Evo White. The inventory says you guys have, Micro Center has one. And apparently it doesn't exist. So I have to order one online now. I was hoping to grab it here because it was going to be quicker than waiting like 6 days for it to show up. Needs more RAM. Poorly hung. This does, I mean, yeah, it does. But the idea of this build was to build a decent PC that's gonna game out of the box, and then, and maybe you're trolling me right there, but I feel like you are. But it's gonna give him a decent platform to start with that he can upgrade later. So for the price that we're building with. Yeah, that has been happening a lot lately, and I don't know why. Yeah, it's something with the Micro Center inventory. Once it's down to like 1 or 2, it's like a 50-50 shot it's actually there. That's what I've learned. So, yep. You would never troll. Right. Anyway, you guys are all hopping in towards the tail end of this. Just in time to see it fire up. But it's your old standard Land-cooled 216 build. Air-cooled, not liquid. But it's a thermal rate cooler. The Peerless Assassin 120 SE. Has the addressable RGB fans. And yes, we used a contact plate. I always use contact plates with LGA 1700. Nah, you'd never troll. I'm actually trying to hurry up here and get done so I can go hit the hay field. We got hay to get off the field. Yes, I build PCs, but the family still owns the farm. And it's always all hands on deck when it comes to hay season. It's okay, it gives me a tan and a nice, you know, a good dose of vitamin D, tan, and a little bit of a cardio workout. Everything that's so healthy for you. So I'm going to cable this power supply up, and then we're going to slap it into this case. Wire this bad boy up after a little bit of cable management tweaking, because cable management is already very nice. This is a 750 watt gold rated power supply that is PCIe 5.0 compatible, so it's got our 600 watt cable, or cable for the new cards, etc., as well as 2 PCIe options. Do you watch Warren on YouTube? He's always talking about the mad rush to get equipment repaired in time for hay season. I do not, actually. But I mean, it sounds about right. Every time we go out on the field to cut, bale, rake, or flip the hay, dry faster, something breaks, whether it's the hay bind, the rake, the baler. Something always breaks. The tractor. So that's why you pretty much have like 2 of each. So if something breaks, it's okay. We've got another one. The show must go on. Especially when you're in a time crunch in Michigan. Time crunch is to get the hay off the field before it rains, because usually in Michigan you only have like a 3 or 4 day window of dry time for hay to dry. So this year it's been kind of weird. We didn't get a lot of water, a lot of rain. The hay is very thin, but it is not drying well because we used a sickle instead of a hay bind to cut it. Big difference there is that the hay is just cut and then simply just dropped on the ground. It is not pushed through a conditioner, which actually breaks the hay up to dry faster. So we learned our lesson about the sickle this year. Now we've been just picking it up as it dries, and the outer rows are taking longer to dry than the inner rows. Great channel. He's a heavy equipment mechanic. Nice. I'll check it out. I actually haven't seen him before, although I don't spend a ton of time like watching a lot of TV or YouTube, and when I do, it's usually watching like Gamers Nexus complain about Asus or something. Or I'll get, you know, a time to turn a movie on and pass out in front of it after 5 minutes of watching it. And I'll wake up towards the end, just in enough time to shut it off and say, that was a great movie. That's how I watch movies. Usually within a given week, I probably watch the same movie over and over at least 4 times because I fell asleep. That kind of looks wonky. Use my reach here as I try to navigate around this huge cooler. Yeah. Go check them out. For sure. Always like new things like that. Although, I used to be a mechanic actually back in the day. So, kind of miss the complexity / simplicity of all of that. What I mean by that is, something doesn't work, you just swap something out until you find where the problem is. Watch repeat. Computers are kind of the same. But you still have to know kind of a general idea. Same thing with mechanics. Alright. There we go. Got all of our cables plugged in so we can fire this bad boy up in a minute. finish routing these cables real quick. Good. It's always a breeze. Doing cable management in the LAN Cool 216. Oh. Always a breeze. Super easy. Then you end up with something super clean. What are we building today? Well, old red. We are building a Intel i7-12700K with a Z690 motherboard, DDR4 motherboard, which is the MSI Pro Series. Uh, 16 gigs of DDR4, 3200 megahertz RAM. and a RTX 3060. So the idea of this build is to get him set up on a nice platform that he can upgrade with later down the road, but start within a reasonable budget and give him enough horsepower to enjoy it out of the gate without having to go too crazy, you know? So I think we achieved that with this build. 1TB M.2 Gen 4 SSD and a 750 watt PCIe 5.0 power supply. So it's ready for those upgrades in the future. And then this is a LAN Cool 216 RGB case. I actually want to do a video on this case because of how many cool things you could do with it. Ugh. And a lot of people don't know about when they're building with it. There we go. There's our build. I will be grading you cable management. So how was my cable management, Poorly Hung? Let's see if it actually focuses. This is. That clean enough for you? If my camera ever stops trying to focus. Like, nah. I think the mesh is throwing it off. Yeah, I think it is. Right on. That's the build. We like it. I'm gonna move some of this junk out of the way. We're gonna go ahead and fire this bad boy up. And we'll see how we did. This poor Ethernet cable. Yet. Let's see what I just did. Didn't just do. You know, one thing I complain about a lot are these. Fix that a little bit when I get to it. Alright, let's fire it up. See if we get a posty post. Where did Ben go? There he is. We did just get a post a second ago, but pretty sure had to reboot T. And there we are on the BIOS. Ooh, pretty. All right, Kristian, this is your build. Be shipped out here probably by Monday is the latest it will ship, unless I do happen to get it out tomorrow morning, because UPS pickups, we have no fan spinning there, but we'll be shipping it out no later than Monday. But if I do get it out, UPS ships on or picks up on Monday and Fridays. So I have to get it out tonight. I just don't think I'm going to have everything ready before it goes out tonight. There we go. Now it's blowing. So poorly hung, I'm still waiting for that grade on my cable management. You said you would grade me. But here we are. Installing Windows, moving on to the next step. Thank you everybody for tuning in for this Thursday build stream. We're going to be possibly doing another stream this weekend. Got some cool stuff coming up. So thank you everybody for hanging out, popping in, saying hi, chatting while we build. And until next time, happy gaming.